diet book any different from the 2 diet books I get every day sent to my office? And, the reading I did of it, I realized that it is different, but I want to hear you tell me, how is this different from every other diet plan out there?
The happiness diet is different because it puts your brain at the centerpiece at the center of dietary decisions. That I'm a psychiatrist, so I'm a physician that specializes in mental health. And I was working with patients, and I got curious, what else besides medication and psychotherapy could we do to help people feel better? And it certainly is a book meant to apply to the general public of no matter what your path to happiness is, everybody needs a foundation of brain health that depends on a set of nutrients. And our relationship with those nutrients, things like the omega-3 fats and vitamin B12, that's changed over the last 100 years. So I think it's different because it's a diet that comes out of a historical context of how the diet changed, and it focuses on your brain. You will lose weight on the happiness diet. It's been very funny being in the diet book space where I think the fact that you can decrease your risk of depression and anxiety, that's amazing. But people want to lose weight, and certainly you will do that on the happiness diet too.
I wonder what your personal relationship with food is, that you thought that you could combine your study of psychiatry with what we eat.
I've always been interested in food. Actually, I became a vegetarian when I was 20. I think a part of it is that I'm a Hoosier farm boy. I grew up on a farm, and we ate a lot of farm fresh food. We still do. We've got, I think, 270 tomato plants in the ground this year.
Oh, my goodness. Lucky.
And there's nothing, I think, better than eating fresh out of a garden. So I've always been interested in food, and then it sort of dawned on me, this was a huge blind spot that we had in medicine. It didn't just dawn on me. I think that there's a huge movement within traditional medicine to think more about food and dietary choices is really a great means of primary prevention. And there's a lot of data now supporting this, that if you look at dietary patterns, people who eat a Western diet or a modern diet, what we call the modern American diet, those folks have a much greater increased risk of depression, anxiety disorders, twice the risk of getting diagnosed with ADHD, increased risk of dementia. So it seemed like a place that was really appropriate and side effect free and delicious in terms of how you can intervene.
Well, let's give an overview of what the happiness diet is. So it's, in addition to removing highly processed, traditionally modern American diet staples, removing those, but then we're also adding whole foods. Is that just a general...
That's a good general way to think about it, is that it's what I call brain food swaps, that you want to take something that is a highly processed food, and by highly processed foods we mean things that are basically made out of sugars and refined carbohydrates, vegetable oils, all kinds of different types of sugars, corn syrup solids and high fructose corn syrup, and then added a variety of flavors and colors. And all these additions are, those are molecules that are questionable at best in terms of whether they're certainly not good for our brain. The diet is very much plant-based because there's a cheeseburger on the cover. I think a very
delicious-looking burger, in fact, on the cover.
That is the happiness diet burger, and that's to make an important point, which is that burger is different than the burger the average American eats. And so the diet is plant-based, but it certainly has lots of carefully selected meat, and we talk a lot about grass-fed beef and different types of meat and fish and why those are so good for the brain.